Hello, welcome to the 2021 Bible Study Series brought to you by St. Colette Parish. My name is Dick Wright. This session is on the second program on the book of the Wisdom of Solomon. Just for our own reflection and meditation, it's interesting to take a look at ways we can read the text, excuse me, in the book of wisdom. We look at the texts themselves, the questions posed and range of answers given, ways we might use the themes in our own lives, and then blending human wisdom with divine revelation and human response, and specifically a method to retain a scriptural passage which goes along with what we just covered for any book or verse in Scripture. First, read the passage of any length slowly and prayerfully. Then reflect a few moments on what you just read. And if you want, in your own words, write a sentence summarizing the passage. One sentence. Refer to your summary sentence at various times throughout the day. We can use an example of Psalm 139, verses 1 to 6 and 13 to 14 to go through that process. Let's read it together. You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Let's now move on to how we acquire wisdom. We can acquire it by reflecting on our own personal experience, reflecting on the nature of things, how things unfold in the world, and reflecting on divine revelation. Wisdom is the ability to think and act using knowledge experience, understanding, common sense, and insight. Wisdom is associated with attributes such as unbiased judgment, compassion, experiential self-knowledge, self-transcendence, getting beyond one's own personal experience, and non-attachment, and virtues such as ethics and benevolence. There are wisdom psalms which focus on the divine source of wisdom and how to attain it. And you'll see the various psalms listed, which are considered wisdom psalms. You'll see the themes of the various wisdom psalms. You have a chance to take a look at this on your own, but you'll see there's a variety of aspects of wisdom covered in that with them. Psalm 128 is an important psalm. Blessed are you who fear the Lord, who walk in obedience to him. You will eat the fruit of your labor. Blessings and prosperity will be yours. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your home. Your children will be like olive shoots around your table. Yes, this will be the blessing for the man who fears the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion. May you see the prosperity of Jerusalem all the days of your life. May you live to see your children's children. Peace on all of Israel. As we had said earlier, now as we get back to the Book of Wisdom, it's divided into 3 sections. The first section is King Solomon's address to all the kings of the earth. He presents a vision of the righteous Jews who died in faithfulness to the Torah and who awaken after death to become the judges of those who had persecuted them. A very interesting twist on that process. The second item is Solomon's instruction on the right way to pursue wisdom, including a wisdom poem that he allegedly wrote, and a lesson on how to pray for wisdom. The third part is Solomon's offering a recital of Israel's history from his own viewpoint, including a repudiation of nature religions, as well as a biting satire on idolatry. Thomas Jefferson put it very succinctly. Honesty is the first chapter of the Book of Wisdom. The first 10 chapters of the book provide background for the teaching of Jesus and for some New Testament theology about Jesus. Many passages from this section of the book, notably chapter 3, verses 1 to 8, are used by the Catholic Church in the liturgy. We'll now go into the 3 sections, or at least start them in this session. Section 1 on wisdom and virtue. Very traditional for any wisdom book. It opens with contrasting associations between wisdom and virtue on one hand, and foolishness and vice on the other. Wisdom, it says, is a fruit that may be expected from moral virtue. Good choices must be made, good character established. By contrast, however, wisdom will flee from someone given to foolish thinking and deceitful actions. And very succinctly, wisdom is knowing what to do next. Virtue is doing it. Righteousness and immortality is covered in this section. Like in the book of Daniel before it, and anticipating the New Testament, which comes later, the wisdom of Solomon has a clear place, as we said, for the idea of resurrection of the body and the immortality of the soul. The text explicitly associates righteousness with immortality. Mainstream tradition holds that one must truly cooperate with God's grace, and that without God's grace, no amount of human effort by itself will achieve the task. Suffering and death of the righteous is also covered. Chapter 3 and most of chapter 4 offer a wisdom perspective on innocent suffering by treating both from a divine perspective. Like the book of Sirach, the wisdom of Solomon visions that suffering can be a way to test in order to purify. Some Christians subsequently applied lines like these to the doctrine of purgatory, but they also make sense when applied to earthly trials. We must point out that the word purgatory does not appear in the Book of Wisdom, nor anywhere in the Old or New Testament. In Genesis, however, death is the punishment of sin. We might think of it as a kind of frustration of the divine plan that God allows to happen so that human beings can exercise their freedom. For one of the requirements of freedom is that actions have consequences. We'll end this session here. The next program will be the 3rd session on the wisdom of Solomon. Thank you.